Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael John Baricki, or Mr. John Baricki, and this is my Parent Family Literacy Workshop. I appreciate you all so much for coming, and I'm just going to explain a little bit more about what we'll be doing in the classroom and things that you could also do with your child at home. The best part about this is a lot of these activities will be done in the classroom, but are also able to be done online or physically at home. And I'll go a little bit into that in just a second. But again, thank you for coming, and be sure to sign in and give your rating on the evaluation of this when you finish watching. So again, my name is Mr. Don Baricki, or Mr. D, and I'm your child's second grade teacher. I'm super duper excited to have you here for our literacy workshop. And like I said earlier, please make sure to sign in on the Google Sheet for attendance so I can put a name to face of your child. And just because of things happening in our district right now, our literacy workshop will be held virtually. Hopefully soon enough, you'll all be able to come in person, and I'll get to meet all of you and also show you these centers and different parts of our classroom in the nearby future. So once again, if you click this link, this will take you to the sign-in sheet. This way I can give account of who was able to attend today. So for those that don't know, what is Literacy Night and what is the importance? It's just a way for parents, the child, and the teachers to all build stronger connections in the classroom and outside, specifically in reading and language arts. It is a way for both the students to practice, but also the parents to have a better understanding of what our reading and literacy curriculum entails, what we do, and kind of the pedagogy and the practices and why we do them the way we do. And again, these are just helpful things to use at home with your child and practice them to help strengthen those skills. And the beauty of centers is they are interactive for kids, and the studies behind them show that it keeps students for differentiated instruction to work on specific needs that one student may have and another one might need another skill. It allows for student collaboration, and it also has it to be fun for students at school. They don't feel like they're doing schoolwork, rather they feel like they're playing a game while also learning and building literacy skills. Again, thank you. If you could fill this evaluation out from 1 to 5, lowest score being 1, 5 being the highest, just on this usefulness, the rating, and how this was presented. And again, kind of why are literacy centers important? Again, they're a way to target specific learning skills for each student. Each student will not be doing the same thing. It will not be a uniform and structured lessons or centers. It's more based on what their individual needs are and what they specifically need help with. We gather the program and what they need help with based off of our data from our program and benchmark assessments that we conduct in the beginning of the school year. So kind of what to know, this is how it's done at school in a normal literacy block period, but also kind of how it'll work tonight is you will be placed at your child's virtually at your child's desk, and each center will last for 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, you will rotate clockwise to the next center. For tonight, there'll be 3 centers and 3 activities I'll explain and go through. And this is similar to our reading instruction. We allocate 45 minutes for those 3 centers, along with whole group and small group instruction. So center number 1 is called Heartword. And in this first center, students will read high-frequency words used in a context. Next, the second part, after they read the word, they're going to map out the word by placing little counters or cubes over each sound they hear. And finally, the student will graph the word by spelling the word with the graphemes and then writing out the word 3 times. This is the purpose of repetition, to have them practice, and once they can sound it out, then write the word. And if they write it 3 times, it becomes more stuck through memory. So over here, it just shows, again, for the word pull, we have 3 sounds, p, u. They write out pull. They would place a cube over the P, the U, and the LL. And then they would write pull 3 times to practice their spelling. Again, these will be provided at home when we're able to give them to students. Cubes, construction paper, which can be posted on Google Classroom as well, and markers. If in the case they were to do this online, or if you were to request to do this at home, there'll be Google Slides for them to work on this. And again, sheets they can write out their answers at home. All this will be provided to them at school. So center number 2 is called Phoneme Graphing Word Mapping. And again, we're really practicing those the phonemes and graphemes in a multitude of ways. So just one thing I've learned about the importance and the research we've gathered in professional development about this is that students use first and foremost oral language to sound out the words. Then they connect the words or the sounds through the phonemes to the letters or letter combinations. So they can sound out certain things like ch, that is the grapheme. And this whole entire process is called orthographic mapping. And it's how we take an unfamiliar word and turn it into a sight word or a word we immediately know. And word mapping is done as a physical way to demonstrate the relationship between phonemes and graphemes. It also allows students to physically visualize and make a connection with the sounds they represent. And again, finally, in all, it helps build word recognition and helps them decode to help improve fluency and skills in both reading and writing. So I know that was a mouthful, but just kind of follow along and you'll see more easier how this is done. Your students will begin by grabbing a picture and identifying what the picture is and the sounds made in the picture. So again, if they pick up a picture of a snail, the students will map out the word by recognizing how many sounds there are in snail. If we sound it out, we have ale. So we have 4 sounds, and they would break each sound down into a box. Again, you can see here that they map out the word by the snail sound. So S-N-A-I-L would go here, and then they would graph the word. If needed, again, if this was conducted online, there would be a Google Slides presented with them, posted in Google Classroom. If it was done in the classroom, there'd be chips and counters made for the words. We'll provide markers and sheet protectors to save paper and be able to recycle these things. And lastly, the third center we'll be working on is syllables and syllables. I'll explain. So in syllables, there's not just one, there's many. So over the course of the school year, they will build upon each group of syllables. So they'll start with closed syllables, eventually graduate into open, then work on silent E, vowel pair, R-controlled, and final stable syllables. Again, they have to show that they've mastered this concept or at least a strong understanding before they can try and learn the next set of syllables. And in this center as a whole, no matter which one they're on, if it's closed or R-controlled, they're going to learn how to identify and break apart syllables. And again, as the year progresses and they show a better understanding and mastery of it, they will then move on to the next pair. So for this example, students will pick in just closed syllables, will pick up a packet of cards, each of them with a picture on each of them. They will grab a Pop-It, the picture, markers, and a whiteboard. They will need this. Again, if this was done online, Google Slides would be placed through it. And they'd have a nice thick black lines to chop up and break apart each part of the syllable. If this was done in class, they will look at the picture and identify how many syllables there are. Then they will punch it in the Pop-It for each syllable they hear. And then they will write each part of the syllable on their graphic organizer or whiteboard. So as you can see, it's done. They see all the syllables and they break apart where the syllables are. And again, these are just the materials they would need for this. So those are centers, but again, through these challenging times and things people may need, we also have a lot of resources for you to use in case you may need some. So we have some program resources for our school, for our classwork and what we do in the classroom. We have parent education, family literacy, life skills training. We have outreach events and organized events at the school. For anyone that needs help with their English, our high school offers a lot of free evening ESL night classes. It's free of charge. It just has an attendance requirement. And also free counseling services offered within our local Long Branch community. And these are just some examples of them that are usually taken through Medicaid, Medicare, or free due to just community outreach and opportunities available. If there's any further questions or you may need help with anything on your child's learning progress, or just you want to gather more information, there's many different ways to get in contact with me. Class Dojos, where I send all my updates and announcements. You can always email me any specific questions. You can reach me at my Google Voice. I can provide you with the number for that. Or if you'd like to speak face to face but are unable to attend an in-person conference one day, we can always speak over Zoom. And again, thank you all so much for coming out and supporting your child's learning. As we close out marking period 1, it's been a great start to the year. And again, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. And if you can, please fill out that evaluation form and just rate it on how active and successful and influential